Welcome to the Valley Today, a public service presentation of KAIL TV. Local dairies have embraced the 21st century. Modern dairies now are more green and sustainable than 50 years ago, putting out more milk with fewer cows and reducing their carbon footprint. We'll visit with Mike Montero and see firsthand animal husbandry combined with modern technology. Up next on the Valley Today. Welcome to the Valley Today. We're with Mike Montero at his farm east of Hanford, and you've got a solar farm here.
That's right.
How cool is that? I don't know too many people who got their own solar farm.
I know, the first in Kings County history.
Oh, really?
To be solar powered for the dairy, yes.
And this is pretty big. It's what, 9/10 of a megawatt?
Yes, there's 9/10 of a megawatt. There's 3,240 solar panels here.
Yeah. And does this power the whole dairy?
It serves about 90% of my needs for the dairy facility. The dairy's sitting on 140 acres, and it feeds into one electric meter, and that one electric meter services the whole dairy.
Right. And so how long have you had this system?
Yeah, the solar farm here came into production on February the 9th of 2011.
Oh, wow. So just only about a half a year or so.
That's right.
I bet you're very happy about that.
Yeah, really, really excited about this. This is really a good project.
And so how did this come about?
Well, in 2008 and 2009, I had calls, believe it or not, from all over the United States from investors who wanted to buy or rent some of our farm ground out here to the west because they found on the county maps that we were landowners just within a half a mile from a PG&E electric substation. Mm-hmm. And these solar farms need to be close to the electric substation to inject the energy into.
Right.
So with all these, obviously I told them that I needed the land for the wastewater for my cows. So I got to thinking, I thought, well, you know, I need to look into this solar thing and see if it's something maybe I can just do myself. So obviously the first stop is your banker, Rabo Bank. I talked to Randy Irwin with Rabo and told him what I was thinking about doing out here. And they said, you know, that's great. We'd like to fund some of these projects, and we have a green energy department that we've just recently got up and running, and we'd like to take a look at this thing. So I got to looking around and talked to several contractors and found that for my project, SPG Solar out of Novato, California was best and most ag-oriented. So I turned in all the information that I had over to Rabo Bank, and they said it looked good to them, and they'd like to do it. So I have about 30% state funding for the solar site and about 30% federal funding for the project. So in addition to the electric bill that I'm not going to be paying, 90% of my electric bill that I'm not paying anymore, it'll easily make my payments and possibly make me a little bit of money every month.
Oh, that's great.
It's really worked out great.
So what's the footprint here? Is this a couple of acres, 5 acres?
4 acres.
4 acres?
Yeah, the solar site took 4 acres out of production. So.
And so this would have been dedicated for growing crops to feed the animals.
Right.
And typically, what are you growing here? You're growing corn, growing silage?
Yeah, I have 3 crops here for the dairy crops for the cows. We grow alfalfa, wheat silage, and corn silage.
Yeah, and you're able to completely feed the animals from everything that you grow here. You don't have to import any feed.
Well, we can grow about 60-65% of our needs.
Oh, really?
For the dairy,
yeah.
And we have to buy the remainder. Mostly alfalfa hay and the grains.
Right.
That we buy.
So this is, how long is this good for? 30 years, 40 years?
Well, you know, SPG Solar there's solar panel manufacturer warranties for 20 years. There's kind of a bumper-to-bumper warranty for 10 years from SPG Solar. I expect lifetime between 20 and 25 years.
Right.
You know.
And what kind of? You don't have to maintain it. The company that installed it maintains it.
Yeah, absolutely. They monitor it daily over the internet. The production. They guarantee the output of the system. The only thing I have to do is keep the weeds down and keep the panels clean.
Yeah.
Which I have to do probably 3 times a year.
So what, you just come in with a certain cloth and just go over it with a broom, or?
Just simply hosing it down is good enough. It's unbelievable. The dust just comes right off. It's really simple. So.
Well, it's very cool.
Yeah.
To see you know, a private application, because you see these big solar farms that are, you know, sponsored by PG&E or whatever other commercial system, and then you see a private one. Now, if you're not using the power, does it pump it back into the grid?
Right. Yeah. In the middle of the afternoon, when it's making the most energy, it produces more than my needs, and it just pushes it back into the grid, into the power line. And then at nighttime, of course, it shuts down, and then I start drawing energy back from the grid. So it really works out great. There's no maintenance from me. There's no daily maintenance. There's nothing I need to do. There's nothing I need to be aware of. There's no switches we have to turn on and off daytime and night. It's really out of sight here, out of mind, and it just produces electricity for us.
Yeah. So. Have any of your neighbors done this?
No, there's been some interest in some neighbors, but actually, I shouldn't say no. Actually, I was able to talk to a neighbor, Ben Curdy in Waukena, and I was able to talk him into putting in a system. And as a matter of fact, he's going to begin construction in 2 weeks.
Oh, great!
He has a similar-sized dairy, and he's building a similar-sized solar system.
So for a dairy of this size, what kind of consumption are we looking at as far as electricity?
My average bill, believe it or not, is $22,000 a month.
Ooh.
Yeah, in the wintertime it goes down to $13,000.
Yeah.
And in the summertime it goes as high as $35,000.
Oh wow! So there's a big swing there.
Yeah. It's
35,000. What are you powering in the summer that takes $35,000 of power?
Right, exactly. In the summertime when it's hot, it takes a lot of energy to keep the cows cool and comfortable. We obviously pump more water. The water gets a little bit deeper because of the demand, partly from the neighbors. We have cooling fans. We have, I think, almost 300 cooling fans to cool the cows off at one horsepower each. And then I also have an irrigation well that we use for irrigation for the crops, also drawing solar energy.
Deep water well?
Deep wells, yeah. There's 2 deep wells, one for the domestic water for the dairy, and then there's one for the crops.
So these animals get cycled every day as far as milking? They get milked twice a day, once a day? How many times they get milked?
Yeah, our cows are milked twice a day here. Yeah.
And so the solar is running all that. It's running your milking operator, it's cleaning the animals, and it's getting the milk out of them, and it's put in a storage container, and it's powering all of it, or 90% of it.
Right, yeah, 90% of it. Yeah, there's a lots of power. The main use, the main demand for this power out here, of course, is for pumping water and cooling the milk. There's several motors, the electric motors that are running 24 hours a day to cool the milk down. The milk comes out of a cow about 102 degrees, and we have to cool it all the way down to 40. And it takes quite a bit of electricity.
Oh wow! So you got to get it down 60 degrees.
Yes, immediately. And it's dropped to 40 degrees immediately and put into the milk tank and held there at 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it's shipped out immediately, or
right? Yeah. Every Lakeside Dairy here makes almost 5 truckloads of milk a day. So
what's the tank wagon? 8,800 gallons?
Yeah, 7,500 gallons.
7,500 gallons.
Yeah. So every 4 or 5 hours, a truck's got to be here to keep this milk hauled out of here.
How many dairies are like this here in Kings County? How many neighbors do you have that are running dairies similar to this as far as size?
There's in the south. East corner here of Kings County, there's been quite a few dairies built in the last 10 and 12 and 15 years since Kings County did an EIR, a countywide EIR that covered everyone to enable them to build these dairies. There's quite a few large dairies out here. There's probably just in my area here, there's probably 6 or 8 dairies that come in the last 10 years.
And the permitting is easier here in Kings County than it was in Tulare, because you had a dairy in Tulare too, right?
Right. Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah. Kings County's really been fabulous to the dairy business and the dairy industry for us to come in here build dairies and produce milk here.
What was this property doing before you guys acquired it, before your family acquired it?
This was a row crop property. For the most part, it was row crops, cotton and alfalfa, and also about 250 acres of almonds.
Oh, okay.
And
crop.
when it was for sale, in 2001. I think in 2002 it came for sale, and the almond industry was going through a downturn, and prices were pretty low in the almonds. And so we bought it at 2003 at a reasonable price and decided to put a dairy here.
Yeah.
So
how's the water here?
It's good. It's good. It's better north of Hanford, north of the 198. Obviously up there by the Kings River.
The aquifer's a little better there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, but over there is perfectly suited for permanent crops, which is what's there. And this area here is perfectly suited for dairies. This land out here needs this wastewater from these dairies and the manure. And so it was really a perfect fit for Kings County.
So the wastewater that's coming off of cooling the animals, then you're pumping that into your orchards or into your crops, and you're irrigating your crops with it.
Right.
So it's a great way to reintroduce the water back into the ecosystem.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. This water is recycled here. We put it in wastewater ponds. They're huge, and they're big enough so that we can store this water when we don't need to irrigate, and then when the crops are growing, of course, we pump it out to the crops. It has nutrients in it for the crops. It's it's really a perfect
it's a win-win.
Fit. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is a great fit as far as bringing animals up and then using it to keep the acreage going.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really quite a match.
Yeah.
Works
How
out
much
good.
how much water are you going through for 3,500 animals?
A dairy of this size takes a lot of water. Water is used to cool the milk,
right?
And of course keep the floors clean where the cows are standing, and so we probably just guessing, I don't know, lots 100, 200,000 gallons of water a day. It takes a lot of water to run.
Yeah, but most of that's getting percolated back into the aquifer after it's going through the crops, and the crops are absorbing the nutrients.
Right, right. Yeah, we irrigate with it, right, and it's reabsorbed back into the ground, and right, yeah. So.
Well, this is absolutely amazing, to see, solar coming on, and of course the technology is pretty efficient now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got to be really jazzed about having your own solar farm.
Right. I picked a really good time to build solar. The incentives aren't as good as today as they were when I built it, and so it was really a great project. The timing was good. The time I signed up, I was able to get some very good incentives to build the thing. So it's really a win-win situation here for me and for Kings County.
Yeah, and this is the first one in Kings County.
Yes, when Hanford Sentinel came out here to do the article of solar, they had it in the newspaper as the first dairy in Kings County history to be solar powered.
I'm surprised somebody else didn't jump on that, because the technology has been here for a while and it's been pretty efficient now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's one other dairy that I know of north of Visalia that has a large solar system like I have.
Yeah.
So, but there's no others in Kings County, and to my knowledge, still not till today.
Wow.
So.
Well, you're going to show us your dairy next?
That's right.
All right.
We'll go have a look around over there.
In the milking barn. That's
right.
what this is called, right?
That's right.
The milking merry-go-round.
Yeah.
This is all state-of-the-art technology, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, this was installed in 2006, and we began milking cows here in September that year. And it's an 80-cow rotary. Milks cows really fast.
80-cow rotary.
80-cow rotary milks about 400 cows an hour, believe it or not.
Really?
A lot
400
of cows.
animals an hour.
That's right.
That is wild.
Yeah.
And what are these animals putting out a day? As far as milk production?
Yeah, these cows, believe it or not, can put out 8.5 gallons of milk a day.
Wow.
So
twice a day. Oh, they milk twice a day.
Twice a day, about 4.25 each milking.
Does it get uncomfortable for them if they haven't been milked? Do they get real uncomfortable as far as the milk building up in the udder?
You know, I think some of the heavy milkers it probably does. Obviously, there's some cows that give more than others. There's cows that are giving 10 and 11 gallons of milk a day, and I think those probably do. Yes.
And those are the mature animals that are what, 3, 4 years old?
Well, not only mature animals. What it is when a cow is fresh, which is when she just has her calf, and she starts milking. That's when she gives the most milk. Is the first month and a month and a half after her calf.
Yeah.
And then of course from there it tapers down. She milks for about 305 days, and so but she gives the most milk right after she gives her calf.
Oh, so they do give birth and then they start milking.
Then they start milking. They milk for 300.
They don't produce before that?
No. Well, no. They have to give a calf, and then they start producing milk. They milk for about 300 days, and then they're dry. They rest. They don't give any milk for about a month or a month and a half. And then they have their calf. When they have their calf, they start all over again.
So typically these animals are birthing 3 calves for their life cycle?
Right, yeah. Average 3 to 4 calves. Yeah, a life cycle.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
I have never seen a carousel before.
That's right.
And this is the new way to do it, right?
Well, this is one of the ways. There's a few other types of barns, but this is one of the ways to do it. We chose this because it just milks so many cows so fast, and you want the cows in and out of the barn quick. You don't want them standing around waiting to be milked, uncomfortable standing around. We want them back in their beds, resting or eating, and we don't want them spending much time in the barn.
So is this by appointment? I mean, you've got all these animals tagged, right? So you know about when they came through the chute and when they got out, and so do they do it on a daily basis at about the same time?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, wow. Yeah. The shift starts at a certain time of the day, and they get that same corral, and then they cycle through the barn.
And so, is this a 24-hour operation?
Yes, the dairy is a 24-hour operation. The milk barn's down for a few hours for cleanup, servicing, and it's back rolling again.
Yeah,
around the clock, day in, all night long. It's rolling here.
And it's really interesting. When we were inside the center of the carousel, you said, oh, "Look at their faces. Look how happy they are."
That's right.
I thought you were putting me on, but I started looking at these animals, and I go, "Yeah, actually, they do look pretty happy."
Right. Yeah. The entrance to this carousel right here, the cows aren't pushed to get on. There's no one standing behind them, pushing them to get onto the carousel. They actually want to get on. When they see an opening, you can see right there. As soon as the cows see an opening, they head for it and they jump onto the carousel on their own, and they want to get on it, and then they're comfortable on it. You can tell by looking at them, believe it or not, that they're comfortable and they like riding the thing.
So how long does this take to get an animal on and off? A couple minutes?
No, it's about I think it's about 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
From the time they get on to the time they get off. So it's really neat. It's really a neat concept.
Of course, they're coming on here and they're getting ready. The guys are putting the milkers on them, and wow.
Right. Yeah. The first guy cleans them up and puts a pre-dip on them, and the second guy finishes wiping them off, and then the third guy is actually putting the milk machine on.
Yeah.
So
these are just like big dogs, huh? I mean, they really are a docile animal. They're not really cantankerous or.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you had this carousel?
2006.
2006.
Yeah, went into production. So we hope it'll last for a long time, obviously.
Yeah. Well, you've got your own machine shop, so you're able to service all your equipment here.
Yeah, for the most part. For the most part, we can take care of it. Our men can keep an eye on it and maintain it. And with the center section open, it can be serviced while it's running.
Oh, so you can actually work on it.
Yeah, they can actually work on it, and it's moving so slow that they can actually work on it while it's in operation.
So perhaps a milker might go down, or one of the things that goes on the animal's udder could be faulty, and you have to change those out.
Yeah, a leak or a hose come off or something or another.
You're in a very unique business because not only are you farming, but you're doing animal husbandry, of course, with these animals. You're growing the food, and you're getting the milk off these cows. You're doing, most farmers are either growing a crop or you know, they're doing one thing, but you're really doing 2 or 3 things.
That's right. Nowadays, with the margins getting as tight as they are, a dairyman needs to farm. He needs to own land. He needs to be able to feed his cows to be competitive on a world market. You know,
Yeah.
this milk is sold, and we receive payment based on the world price. And you've got to become competitive, like any other business, or you're not going to last and you're not going to grow.
How long can this milk keep for?
I'm not, you know, actually, to be honest, I'm not real familiar with that. Our responsibility is to put it in the tank, and the milk truck comes and gets it, and it's off to the creamery to Land O'Lakes. And
Yeah.
from there on, it's their responsibility.
So most of this is being turned into butter?
At Land O'Lakes has a large butter department over there,
Yeah.
right?
So creamery, butter, fresh milk.
Right, yeah. Land O'Lakes is known for their butter plant.
Now where
here in Tulare.
are the chocolate cows?
That's right. Everybody's always asking, you know.
Are they?
A lot of neighbors have Jersey cows.
Yeah.
And Jersey cows are brown, and a lot of people think that
that's
the
where the
chocolate milk comes from the Jersey cows.
That's hilarious.
But actually, Jersey milk is high in butter fat.
Yeah. And what kind of animals are these?
These are Holstein cows.
These are Holsteins.
Yeah, which are the most popular cows still here in the valley.
Wow.
So.
This is truly something to behold.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Now, what is this indicator telling us?
Those are the milk weights. As soon as the machine is put on, that is tied to the computer in the office, and it tells how much milk that cow gave. By the time she's done and gone all the way around the rotary, that print out there will read out how many pounds of milk that cow gave.
So these animals are chipped. They have a chip in them, so you can tell which animal is doing what as far as production.
Yes.
This truly is the 21st century.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine a dairyman 100 years ago stepping into this operation and seeing this? It would blow his mind.
That's right.
Don't you think?
That's right.
Because these guys were doing it by hand. They were getting a stool, they were getting the animals to come in, they were milking them by hand and then kicking them out, and this is all mostly automated.
That's right. Yeah. Nowadays, to be able to handle this many cows that we have here, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Keep these cows efficient and rolling in and out of the barn giving milk.
Are there any guys around here that got X amount of cows, but they need more farmland to produce the food to feed them, so they have to lease extra ground? Do you know anybody doing that?
Well, nowadays permitting has gotten pretty tough. If you don't have the ground, they don't allow you to just look for it and hope to get some land in the future. You have the cows. They only allow you to have the cows for the land you have, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
If you put on some more land, then they'll allow you to put on some more cows. But you've got to have the land first that'll sustain the cows that you have.
So there's X amount of animals per acre.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever land you have, they'll allow you a permit for that, and that's it. And of course, we've got reporting that we do, and where this waste manure goes to, where the wastewater goes to, and then we've got to keep track of all that stuff.
Are you buried in paperwork?
Well, I guess you could say we are. We do what we can, and then we hire the rest done that we're unable to do. Or there's an engineering firm that keeps track of our paperwork and makes sure that everything gets filled out correctly and sent in a timely manner.
And is this to the county, the state, or the feds, or who are you reporting to? And
I'd say all of the above.
All of the above, huh?
The county's really pretty good to us. It's the regional water quality and the air district has probably gotten the toughest and the most stringent on us. But it's a good thing, you know. We want to be good stewards of the land here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
I've never met a farmer that wants to destroy his own ground because it has to keep producing.
Exactly.
So it doesn't make any sense for a farmer to be a polluter, you know?
Right, exactly.
You are the original ecologist.
That's right.
You know that?
We have to be.
You have to be.
We have to be.
Yeah.
Right.
This is truly, as Huelhauser would say, this is truly amazing.
That's right.
That's amazing.
That's right.
Wow.
Guys are working hard, and these animals are just coming up. They can't wait to get on this carousel, on the slow milk merry-go-round.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, it is something to behold. It is something to behold. Mike, thank you so much for being on the Valley today. I mean, you've been more than generous. And you know, if it would have been any other day, we would have been able to get this guy, but it rained this morning. I got a hold of him this morning. He says, I got time today. I says, well, we'll be there in a couple hours, and sure enough, we were. Thanks so much for being on our show, The Valley today. Mike Montero here, dairy farmer, Kings County, doing a great job.